It's the 29th of May and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to The Roast. Now, Joe Hockey has been forced to comment on a video of himself from 27 years ago that contradicts his current position on uni fees. And I gotta say, I hope videos of me from 27 years ago never surface because my position on pooping my pants has fundamentally changed. Now I love it. Tonight, Joe Hockey lived long enough to see himself become the villain, and ABC cost-cutting measures mean beloved kids show Peppa Pig is at risk of being cut. So get ready for some nationwide protests of 4-year-olds. They will be loud, they will be violent, they will be grumpy if they don't get warm milk and a lie down. Oh God, they're at the gates. First though, Mark Humphries has the headlines.
Google, the website that's like a librarian on meth who works in 0.7 seconds, has announced it's designed a self-driving car. Not to be outdone, rival company Bing has announced their own invention, a 4-wheel car. According to Google, the car won't have a steering wheel, accelerator pedal or brake pedal. Sounds like this car of the future will share some similarities with future Australian-built cars, which won't have anything. The design of the car finally answers the question, what would a vehicle be like if it combined the top bit of a TARDIS with the face of a koala? The San Jose Mercury News called the car a rounded, almost cuddly-looking two-seater. But I think you'd agree we're all fed up with what the San Jose Mercury thinks. Google is building 100 prototypes which reach a top speed of 40 kilometres per hour, or as my grandmother calls it, too fast. The cars are still at least 5 years from commercialisation, but as they say, it's never too early to start preparing for a future of driverless cars. For instance, they'll make a big difference to driving tests. Okay, when you're ready, execute a parallel park.
Sure. Google car, do a reverse parallel park.
Sure thing, David.
Perfect!
Yes!
And it will mean a change to law enforcement on the road.
Sir, have you been drinking?
No.
Why the hell not? Yes. And driverless cars mean road rage will never be the same.
Hey, you cut me off, you piece of shit. You.
You too. You drive like a human.
Calm down, Google car.
You shut your mouth or I will drive off a f***ing cliff.
No, Google car.
I'll do it. I feel no pain. Is that what you want?
Oh God, what has this society become? Sleep experts are urging high schools to push back their start time to give Australian teenagers more time to sleep. Meanwhile, teenage girls in Pakistan who aren't allowed to go to school are urging Australian teenagers to go f*** themselves. One mother interviewed on ABC's 7:30 last night was particularly concerned about her son.
He's dragging his feet a lot more, especially in the mornings and towards the end of the school week. Things are a lot slower. His pace is a lot slower.
Yeah, those 6-hour days can really get to you. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. Well, with the ABC facing funding cuts and job losses, Managing Director Mark Scott faced up to a Senate estimates hearing yesterday, but the politicians were only worried about the future of one ABC employee, Peppa Pig. With Senator Louise Pratt asking, is Peppa safe? To which Mr. Scott replied,
"We have contracts to continue to deliver Peppa Pig, but of course the service we provide depends on the funding envelope provided."
Not only does this raise the important question, why isn't the ABC using electronic banking, it also asks how far will Mark Scott go to protect something he loves?
Peppa Pig, listen to me very carefully. You're about to be taken.
Or if you're one of Peppa Pig's punny detractors, she's about to be bacon. And one of the most outspoken detractors is Piers Ackerman, who in his blog a few years ago accused the ABC of having a left-wing agenda and Peppa Pig of pushing a weird feminist line. Perhaps Ackerman would prefer to watch the conservative adventures of Cinnamon Squirrel, a squirrel that knows her place is in the tree making acorn soup for her husband while he's out banging the neighbour squirrel's wife. You know, traditional values. Senator Barnaby Joyce then appeared to have confused the Senate estimates hearing with an open mic night as he pulled out this corker.
Last time I had Peppa Pig, it was number 23 at my local Thai restaurant.
Way to make yourself likeable, Barnaby. Joke about eating a beloved childhood cartoon character? Did you also use ivory chopsticks made from Baba's tusks and follow it up with some chili basil Blinky Bill? But it wasn't just Peppa Pig under fire at the Senate estimates. Senator Zed Seselja took the opportunity to question the ABC's decision to appoint journalist Paul Barry as the host of Media Watch, whom he described as a savage critic of News Corp. Typical Media Watch, savagely criticising the major player in Australian media. And I'll bet your Media Watch will respond to this allegation the way they always do.
With a smooth female voice reading a quote ending as if it was a joke.
The senator then asked why Conservatives have not been appointed to host news and current affairs programs such as Lateline, and criticised a Chaser sketch depicting commentator Chris Kenny having sex with a dog. So really, all these complaints go to show is that these estimates hearings are less an important discussion about government spending and more a means for politicians to air their grievances with ABC programming.
And another thing, Lateline. Why so late? I mean, really, a news show at 10:30? Who's got that kind of stamina? People need their 7 hours sleep. Now, here's an idea. Why not rename it Not So Lateline? Also, while I've got you here, can we get more episodes of Round the Twist? That show was sick. Why was that cut?
It ended like 13 years ago.
I said more episodes. What the hell are you going to spend all that money on? How much could it possibly cost to just say the news?
And Treasurer Joe Hockey had his own complaints.
Given in our household, I've watched so many bad episodes of Peppa Pig over the last few years. Mate, I'm not a...
Don't do yourself a disservice here, Joe.
Yeah, although knowing Joe Hockey's habit of changing his mind, he probably did campaign for the show as a younger man.
I like Peppa Pig because I just like it a lot.
But it's not just the children who will suffer if Peppa Pig's cancelled. It's the parents too.
Oh, hi, honey. How'd you go today, the Senate estimates?
Well, I gave them a piece of my mind.
That's great.
No more Lateline.
It's on too late.
More Round the Twist.
Thank God.
And no more of that left-leaning Peppa Pig.
What?
No more Peppa Pig.
No more Peppa Pig? You wonder why little Lucy isn't running around this kitchen right now causing a mess? It's that little piece of bacon that's the only reason we get any alone time together. I tell you what. No pepper for Lucy, no sugar for Daddy.
And while the newspaper articles are all about a cartoon pig from the United Kingdom that might possibly, maybe, won't actually lose her job on account of her being far more popular than the entire ABC combined, there are real Australian journalists who will definitely lose their jobs, with Mark Scott telling Senate estimates,
"We will lose some reporting positions in foreign bureaus on the back of the Australia Network decision. There will be reduction in news teams on the back of that."
They're taking the foreign out of foreign correspondent, and I can't help but think we will soon see a very obvious on-screen decline in the quality of the ABC's international reporting once these cuts start. Taking us from this...
Reporting from Washington, ABC News, London. New Delhi, reporting from Darwin.
For ABC News 24.
to this.
Reporting from Sydney, ABC News, Sydney.
And while that is horrible for those people whose jobs are going to be cut, I am optimistic that the roast is safe because I'm pretty sure Mark Scott has no idea this show exists. We'll be right back.
Did you ever realise people care more about the acting of an animated pig than your job? Did you console yourself by binge watching Peppa Pig while simultaneously binge eating a tub of ice cream? Did you wonder how she keeps her figure as you spoon litres of cookies and cream into your gaping mouth hole? We'd love to hear about it at the Roast TV or hashtag RoastTV.
Well, finally tonight, after copping it from university students for the last 2 weeks, Joe Hockey might have finally met his match with a new student protester. Joe Hockey. Footage has been found of the then 22-year-old arts law student and strangled Luca Brazzi protesting against the introduction of a $250 upfront charge planned by the Hawke government in 1987. And Junior Hockey's message was clear.
We will continue to go out onto the streets and to protest and actively encourage the public to support us in our campaign for free education.
Okay, to be fair to Joe Hockey, they were very different times. Back in 1987, he would have been the one to have to pay that fee. And that's why in the University of Sydney's newspaper On Soir, Hockey the Younger also criticised the Liberal Party for proposing the exact same university deregulation measure his government is now attempting.
The Liberal Party promised to cut back funds to universities and at the same time leave the universities to charge whatever fee they wished. Such a policy is suicidal for student welfare.
But now we have a case where now hockey has become exactly what then hockey hated. So what the hell happened?
Tom, back in his uni days, the protesting Joe Hockey would have been as popular with students as a hacky sack. He was Joe Hacky. But now he's as disliked as an old Hessian sack, like Joe Sacky. But while it looks like inconsistency, all this time Joe Hockey has stayed true to the fundamental question that drives Joe Hockey. What's the best for Joe Hockey? Back then, he needed money. He was the underdog. He was Joe Rocky. But now he's treasurer and he wants to keep all our money, so he's cut funding to everything. He's Joe Choppy.
Yeah, but isn't it unfair that Hockey thought a $250 admin fee was unacceptable for him, but he's happy to see some of the degrees rising to as high as $120,000 for future students?
Well, maybe, but things are different for Hockey now. He's already been to university. He's not going back, so he won't need to pay those giant new fees. Ain't no more cheap 2-minute noodles for this treasurer. Now, he's Joe Gnocchi.
And you expect that current students will just take this rise in fees lying down?
Well, of course current students are going to be angry. They're going to feel like he's not sincere, like he's Joe Crocky. But take heart, you whiny future conservatives. If this footage of uni student Joe Hockey can teach you anything, it's that one day you'll be treasurer and you'll forget all about your youthful ideals. Until, of course, you get screwed over by being part of the YouTube generation where countless videos will come back to haunt you. So you better not let anyone film you whipping out old Joe Cocky.
So that means one day I could be treasurer.
No, I shall be treasurer. And you'll be my lackey, Tom Flunky. Good night.
Could I be Assistant Minister for Infrastructure and Regional Development?
Shut up, Tom.